The CONCACAF Gold Cup draw has concluded with the Canadian men's national team drawing Honduras, El Salvador, and Curacao. A relatively easy group, but a very intriguing and exciting group. And this might potentially be the perfect group for the Canadian men's national team. As yes, they have dodged a bullet with this group. They haven't drawn the Reggae Boys in Jamaica. They missed out on a Costa Rica as well as a Saudi Arabia in pot 4. You missed on all the big hitters out of CONCACAF as well as Saudi Arabia. Canada won't be facing one of these sides who are almost guaranteed to end up at the World Cup, who are going to be great opportunities for Canada to challenge themselves in the group stage. So for some people, it might be a disappointing draw, but for me, this is the perfect draw, because when you look at Canada's group, it is the easiest group out of the Gold Cup, and this is very exciting, because yes, their hardest opponent is a 75th world-ranked Honduras, who Canada has a fierce rivalry with, so it will be a very difficult game, as well as a very competitive game, which will be very physical. But nonetheless, El Salvador, Curacao, and Honduras are all going to be very exciting tests, are all going to be very competitive, and are all very hungry to beat Canada and to prove to the rest of the region that they can play against a Canada, that they can play and not get played off the park by a very good Canadian men's national team. And it's a huge opportunity for these three sides to challenge Canada and hopefully get out of the group stage for one of them. But for this Canadian side, it is a huge opportunity here to walk through this group relatively easily, prove that you are the big nation that you truly are expected to be, and beat these sides well and handedly and come first in this group, as I predict Canada to finish first in this group. And this isn't a group where I expect Canada to slosh their opponents, where I expect them to whitewash these sides. I expect it to be competitive games. And when we talk about not facing a World Cup contender like a Jamaica, Costa Rica, or Saudi Arabia, you are still going to have competitive games against these three teams. Canada's going to get to test themselves in against a low block. If they can beat a low block, if they can break down a low block, as well as test themselves on the counter and transition when these teams try to hit them in that counterattack setting. So it's a very good situation for Canada to get into as well, because it's an opportunity also for Jesse Marsh to see players lower down the depth chart. Because yes, we're still going to bring our best possible team. I truly do believe that. We'll see a Moise Bombito. We'll see a Derek Cornelius, Alistair Johnston, Richie Laray. All those players, your winners, your leaders, they will be there. I really believe that. But this is a tournament where players will get to rise to the occasion and get their true chance to shine. Especially players like Nathan Saliba, Nico Seeger, as well as Promise David and Taniyo Lawase. These are perfect opponents for them in a group stage to warm up to the tournament, to not play in a huge polarizing and pressurized stage against a Jamaica or Costa Rica, like I said previously, but against a Honduras where there's still that rivalry, there's still that fierce hunger from the opponents, and you have to go out and win. And you will test yourself against a low block. It's a perfect opportunity for Jesse Marsh to truly test this Canadian side and to see if they can really break a low block. And this is going to be a great chance for Promise David to go out there and get his debut, to hopefully get his first goal, and to get that monkey off his back against some relatively easier opponents in CONCACAF. And this is a great tournament for Canada to go out there and win it, which I will talk about in a separate video if I believe the Canadian men's national team will win this tournament. But we're here to give you guys my reaction to the draw, because it's a very exciting draw for Canada. And I'm not in the group of we missed out here and we don't get to face those World Cup big competitive matches. Because whoever you face in national soccer against any national team, they're always going to be a competitive match. Yes, so be it, a Curacao probably won't be at the World Cup, but they're going to be very hungry to go out there and test Canada to the absolute utmost. And that'll make it a very exciting and very intriguing match as well. Because I do believe right now, I will give you guys my predictions for this group, I do believe this is a group Canada will win. But I think all these three teams have the ability to challenge Canada in their own way and their very different ways. We got the rivalry against Honduras. El Salvador will be a test as well as Curacao. These teams will defend. They'll defend resiliently. They'll expect to hit Canada on the counter. And it's things that Canada hasn't been great at. We've struggled to break down the low block at times. And hopefully we can do it consistently against 3 teams here in the group stage and get that monkey off our back. And it'll be very interesting to see how Jesse Marsh sets up, the team he calls, because I really believe we have to bring our best team, and this is a tournament that Canada desperately needs to win. Well, my group predictions will be Canada in first, and then I'm going to say Honduras in second, potentially in second. I will say Curacao will come in second. I think this is going to be the group where we see a surprise, a shock, and I expect Curacao to upset the others and come second in this group. So I got Canada first, Curacao second, Honduras third, and El Salvador in fourth. That's my group predictions, guys. And I think it'll be a very exciting group. And yes, it's not the group supporters might have wanted, but it's the group I think this team needed. It needed a relatively easy group to get that confidence, get that momentum, and get some monkey off the backs of some of these players. Tani Oluwase got his first goal. Can Promise David get his first goal? Can Daniel Jebison get his first goal? Can they both get running, hit the ground running, hit it on fire, and continue that form throughout the tournament? Can Nico Seeger have a great game in the midfield or at right back? Can we see a partnership with Nathan Saliba build? Can we see a Jaden Nelson come into this tournament and hit the ground running? It's a great opportunity for those players who might be ready to grab that rod and prove that this is their time, this is their opportunity. Because this Canadian team has to go out there and win this tournament. I truly believe that this is a tournament Canada has to win. There's a lot of pressure on this Canadian team to go out there and win the Gold Cup. This is a tournament with history. We've won it in the past. This is our Euros, like we like to call it. And this is the tournament in CONCACAF that has the most history, that is very rich in terms of history, and is important for Canada to go out there and bring their best possible team and players on form. I don't want us to go out there and call up a bunch of youngsters, but I want it to be a mix of our winners, our best team, with the mix of Tani Oluwase, Promise David, Daniel Jebison, start the likes of Nathan Saliba and Nico Seeger in the midfield. Let Jaden Nelson start. This will be a very exciting team and a very exciting tournament. But the other groups as well, we'll just slowly give it to you guys. Group A was Mexico, Costa Rica, Suriname, and Dominican Republic. Group B, of course, was Canada, Honduras, El Salvador, and Curacao. Group C, Panama, Jamaica, Guatemala, and the likes of Guadeloupe. And then Group D was the group of death, of course. CanMNT, Haiti, Trinidad and Tobago, and Saudi Arabia. This will be probably the most exciting Gold Cup. This is the most competitive Gold Cup and a perfect Gold Cup for Canada to test themselves. We don't need those first games in the group stage to be games where we're playing those World Cup caliber teams, because that'll come later in the knockout stage. But this is a tournament that I think is perfect for this Canadian men's national team, and they are ready for it. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments, guys. Let me know what you guys think of this group as well. Smash that like button. It really helps with the video and the channel. Smash that sub button, guys. The support, the reaction, the comments have been absolutely incredible on the channel lately, and I truly appreciate it. We're just going to continue to give you guys the best content possible around the Canadian men's national team. And I'll see you guys for the next one. Peace.